Well, looks like we're live now as usual, just 1 minute over time. I always miscalculate how long it takes for OBS to send the stream to YouTube and then for YouTube to give me the go play. Whatever, who cares? Anyway, we're here to talk about the 3080 Ti, the 6700 XT, and the i7-11700K. I specifically want to talk about the 11700K because this may be the worst processor launch I've ever seen, ever. But in any case, what I do want to talk about here right before we start it is that, if you do want to, for me to for sure get to one of your questions, what you're going to have to do, if there's a lot of viewers, which there likely is going to be, is probably your best chance would be to do a super chat. And I am going to let you guys know that, by the way, during this whole thing, if you do send me a super chat and you do want to get into the Discord, which I will be pulling up here in a second as well, the best way to do that, you send me a super chat, get a hold of me afterwards, let me know that you sent that super chat, and then I will add you to our Discord. Now, the best way to get a hold of me would be through either Twitter or to get a hold of me through my email. And again, if you do that, then you'll get access to the channel Discord, which honestly, the channel Discord is pretty awesome. They did actually help me pick out my new case. So I got a new case to house all my new parts because my Liquid Freezer 2, the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 420 radiator was just a little bit too big to put on the top of my previous case, and I had it intaking in a suboptimal way, which of course was creating some sort of odd noises coming from the pump inside the radiator. So that wasn't great, so we got that fixed. So yeah, the Discord's pretty great. I'm gonna go ahead and tell them real quick that we are live. Let me get into the Discord. We are live. There we go. In typical fashion, I really goofed that up. Hit the spelling. Anyway, we got some questions coming in here. By the way, I did put a little bit of a slow mode on this time because there was a lot of people saying that it was getting a little out of control with how many people were posting last time and spamming. So looks like, real quick before I answer one of these questions, I think I got some problems with my orientation of the monitor. Give me 1 second here. Yep. Nope, not that way. That way. Close enough. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these questions. So, Not Stormy says, do you think we will have enough stock? No, there will not be enough stock. Miguel Whiteman says, what is the news? So yeah, let's quickly go through that and then I'll answer some more questions here. So first of all, if you didn't see my video on the 3080 Ti, definitely go ahead and check that out on my channel. But yeah, there's some more stuff leaked about the 3080 Ti. At this point, it looks like pretty much 10,240 shaders basically confirmed, 12 gigabytes of VRAM basically confirmed. I remember a really long time ago, nobody knew what the memory speed was going to be on this, and I was thinking to myself, probably 19 gigabits per second because 3080 or 3090 is 19.5. 19 gigabits per second would give you about 2% less memory bandwidth. It has 2% less shaders. That matches up. So yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be 19 gigabits per second as well, giving you a total memory bandwidth of 912 gigabytes per second. So yeah, that's gonna be a really fast card. It looks like it's coming out mid-April, and this was all basically, so originally this information came from Comp87 Kimi, and then Red Gaming Tech also had sources tell him that as well. So yeah, it looks like at this point, a 12 gigabyte 3080 Ti, I'm really confident that this thing, this thing is going to be actually launching at some point in mid-April. So yeah, that's some really good news there. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit expensive. We're probably looking about $1,000 here. Now, are you going to actually be able to purchase it for $1,000? Maybe if you get the Founders Edition. Other than that, probably not the case. The super high-end models are probably going to be closer to 3090 MSRP. The lower-end models probably closer to around 1200-ish, maybe a little bit more. It would be my guess. And then moving on to 6700 XT, that's going to be coming out real soon here. I think it's an interesting card. I think 12 gigabytes is good. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get that card basically at all. There's just not going to be enough stock. We'll see what happens on that front though. But yeah, I really want to talk a lot about the i7-11700K because some benchmarks leaked out and it's not looking good. I mean, it looks real not impressive, we'll say that much. So we'll talk about that in depth more in a little bit here, but let me go ahead and answer a few of these questions here. We got Ja 2016, is there going to be a 3070 Ti / 3070 Super, and what is the price going to be? Yeah, I'm pretty sure at some point we should be seeing either a 3070 Ti or Super. It sounds like Comp87 Kimi over on Twitter was saying that they're going to refresh their lineup. We'll see if that ends up happening, but he's been correct a lot. Like he's a pretty good source. And then on top of it, there have been rumors of a 3070 Ti in the past. My guess would be it would probably come out a couple months after the 3080 Ti. So if you're looking at April, and just a few months after April, maybe even 3 or 4 months if we're not lucky. But I would guess that, yeah, it probably will come out, but we don't know for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see if we got any other questions in here. Anthony Allen says, man, these crypto miners are about to get these nice new cards because that's all who's going to get them. Yeah, the crypto miners and scalpers. So the crypto miners are like buying them in bulk. It seems like, now, of course, this isn't confirmed, but this is like, there's a lot of suspicion that they might be buying them in bulk from like either AIBs or from retailers. It's like someone in the chain has to be selling them bulk cards, because otherwise I don't know how many they're getting, like pallets of the same stuff. Recently I saw a picture of Linus who had like pallets of 3080 Tufts, I think, and he said he promised you'd give them to gamers. So awesome. But yeah, so clearly if you have enough money, someone's willing to sell you pallets of these things. That's what it looks like to me. Let's see here. Yeah, but the problem is if you're a miner and you can't buy pallets, you're going to buy them from a scalper. So then it creates this whole ridiculous thing. Jay Stees says, do you think the NVIDIA 30 series refresh is more about adding mining limiters than adding VRAM or performance? Yeah, I think it's kind of a two-pronged approach to that. So not only does it give NVIDIA an option to add in the anti-mining software, but on top of that, it also allows them to update the BIOS with the whole resizable bar. So it's just a good opportunity for them to refresh stuff, shuffle up the stack. It also gives them an opportunity to get some more press, to make them look good. So it's just, yeah, it makes a lot of sense for them to release these. V Volds says 3060 were sold weeks before official release. Yeah, I saw rumors of that. And in fact, someone, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had kind of like an exclusive video where someone sent me a video of an unboxing of a 3060. I think it was the first unboxing that made its way online. So yeah, and I showed it, and I remember the guy was in like the leather jacket in the kitchen. He was like pretending to be Jensen. It was so ridiculous. I've never gotten a more ridiculous leak. Oh my Lord. Okay. Daniel Cavara says, isn't it better to wait for 4000 series to be released, as RTX is still new tech and will only get better? I mean, yeah, it's always better to wait. But at some point you got to pull the trigger. 3000 series at MSRP is actually good. It's a good price. 4000 series, I'm pretty sure the prices are going up. I mean, after the whole mining boom, plus the inflation that's going on, yeah, we're probably going to be looking at price increases. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that looks like the case. Hopefully GPU mining at some point here comes to an end, because it's incredibly wasteful and it's really disruptive to a lot of markets. It seems like there's probably a better way to go about this. I don't necessarily know what that is. I know there's been talk of going from proof of work to proof of stake on things like Ethereum, but then if Ethereum stops GPU mining, then another coin will just come up and do it because it's popular. So I don't know when or if that's going to happen. We'll see. All right. Kaijo says, at this point, I'm being forced to wait for the next gen. Well, next gen rumors have already started coming out. It looks like I'm going to, yeah, I probably should have reduced the lighting a little bit here. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Looks like I'm a little overexposed, but then the question is, ooh, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that better? Does that look better or does that look worse? Let me know. Too dark or is that good? Much better? Okay, yes. Yeah, I was a little overexposed there. Yeah, OBS, you kind of gotta, with webcams, you gotta get set something that works good. All right. Oh, and by the way, there's one piece of news I want to tell you guys about. So I know for a long time I've been talking about starting up a second channel because I found myself with a little bit of extra time now. And when I say starting up a second channel, in no way will that impact the quality or quantity of videos coming out of this channel. This channel will always be the main focus. However, since I have a little bit of extra time, as I've been thinking for a while of starting up a second channel, I've been asking people, you know, what do you think I should do on there? I've been coming up with the various ideas. I've come up with an idea. Let me know what you think about this. I'm thinking I'm going to start a channel where I put up tech memes. So it'll just be like 1 or 2 videos a week, maybe 3 videos a week. Just go up whenever I have time, throw up some tech memes. And so if you guys want to subscribe to that channel, I'll probably get it up and running this week or next week at the latest. And then that'll just give you a little bit of, in these rough GPU times, a little bit of extra levity that I think that we all need. So yeah, I feel like that's probably a good way to put that second channel. It allows me to not spend so much time on it that I'm, dipping into effort that I could be putting into this channel. So I feel like that's probably the best thing to do, because I thought about doing other things like reviewing hardware and stuff, and I just realized that the amount of work that would take, it would just end up cutting into my current content, which of course I don't want to do, as this does need to stay as the main focus. So Graphically Challenged 2.0, I just need to come up with a name for my second channel where I'll be uploading additional content. So let me know what you think. Let me know in the chat here. What do you think I should name it? It's so good. We got Edgy Bloke in the chat here. Oh. Tech time. Memely challenged. RTX 3070 Ti release, Jana says. Yeah, it might happen after the 3080 Ti launch, but it's still going to be a little ways away. V4V says, please talk about 11700K Skippy Lake fail. I think it's an impressive fail. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it, baby. Michael, I don't know if YouTube would like that one. Graphically disabled. That might be a little... that might get yellow flagged or something. Let's see. I can't buy any card. What do you mean Intel fail? Oh, we're going to talk about it, Elad. JST says, I got lucky and was able to get 2 3070s for one for me and one for my friend. Yeah, if you're fast, you can get them. I've been able to get basically all of my friends who I play games with online. I was able to get them 30 series cards. So I got someone a 3080, got someone a 3070, and I got another one 3070 as well. So, and I also have a 3090 now. I had a 3080, but I was able to give that to my friend for MSRP. So you can do it. It's just really hard, and it's like this last month it was really hard because of the whole Chinese New Year. But yes, you can do it. You just got to be really fast. And if you've seen my videos talking about the best methods of doing it, you can do it. And this is not like I didn't have any extra help. I just was fast with my phone. So like, I've had good luck recently with Best Buy, actually. Like when Best Buy does their drops, if you sit there and you have a bunch of different products open and you wait till one of them goes yellow and you immediately click, I've had good luck with that. So yeah. Let's see. JC says, was it through EVGA queue? Yeah, actually I did get 2 of them through the queue. So that helped a lot too. But yeah, the other ones the other ones I got, I was just laughing at a comment. the other ones I got through basically like Best Buy, Newegg. Amazon, no. I've had no luck through Amazon. They've just been oof. Me not J or Ja 2016, me not living in America. Yes, Best Buy. JC says Amazon is the worst. Yeah, I like them for buying random stuff, but like, woo, yeah, getting 30 series cards, yeah, I've had 0 luck at all. Amazon equals Scalper City, yeah, pretty much. All right, do you think 6800 XT is better than a 3080? In gaming at 1440p, it looks like it kind of is, but realistically, I'd rather have the 3080 because realistically, the prices that you can pick them both up at like if you actually buy it from Newegg or Best Buy or whatever, seem to be pretty similar. It looks like those third-party 6800 XTs are very expensive. So in that case, I'd rather have the card. Yes, it has a little less memory, but it also has stuff like, I know it works good in Premiere. I know that it has the encoder that people like for streaming. I know that it also has the RTX voice, it has ray tracing, and it has DLSS. So that's stuff that you don't really get with the 6800 XT, and if they're the same price, yeah. Let's see. How much will third-party 6700 XT be? Expect $600 to $650. It's gonna be woo-wee. It's gonna be expensive, boys. Ahmed Odeh says a retailer informed me that my order for a 3080 from yesterday will come at the end of September. Yeah, you got. I'd probably cancel that one. Borba says, should I switch to Intel or stick with AMD? I mean, that's a pretty vague question. So I guess I can't tell you. I don't know what you're running. Wide. Okay. I still want to ask, please, AMD GPUs on programs. Yeah, AMD needs to work on their support for certain programs with their GPU department. Justin K says, lol, guess... Oh, I almost had to burp. Guess who's not going to get a 3080 and is forced to buy a 3070/Ti/3080 Ti for more than 1.5 times the price I bought my 3080 for? Yeah. Machine X says, love you, bro, from India. Well, thank you. Deathable says, I just bought a 980 Ti. Performs really good. You should make a video about this. Yeah, actually, I would, but on this channel, it just wouldn't do that well. But yeah, my friend has a 980 Ti. We were able to get it for super cheap right before things got really bad. And it's actually, yeah, it's holding up fairly well. Like, it's a good 1080p card for sure. What do you think about DG2? Leaks said it might perform equivalent to a 3070. So yeah, the DG2, I think it could. It could get close to 3070. Hopefully they slap the 16 gigs on it. That'd be kind of nice, but 8 would be fine. I think it'll at least be roughly 3060 Ti, but it looks pretty decent. I really hope they start making those because we do need a third player. I think it's good for everyone. So, when will you be able to buy a 3090 at MSRP? You actually can now. Not like right now. But when Founders Editions go live, you can, if you're fast, get one. And those are MSRP. So you just got to check when Best Buy has their drops. Because you got to remember, there's less people who are willing to pay $1,500 for a card, so your chances of that are, I'd say, significantly higher. 3080 is basically, whew, good luck getting one of those. Any update on super variant of the 3060 Ti? Well, if that does happen, it'll probably be a little while from now with the super refresh of the whole lineup. So we'll see. Justin Vicars is back in the chat. Says, hey, how long this has been going? It's actually only been going for about 20 minutes here, it looks like. So we got a while yet here to do stuff. So if you want to get your questions in, now's a good time. And then we'll jump into the Intel stuff here, which, oh man, that's going to be fun. Intel's just been a disaster. It's just, okay. When will 4000 series NVIDIA cards come? Not until at least next year. V4V says, Red Gaming Tech has a new video about Fidelity FX, super resolution, new leaks, something about 2 times performance. Yeah, I'm actually putting a video out about that tomorrow. I just don't want to be doing 4 videos in a row. I didn't want to put one out today, so I'm doing a stream instead. But yeah, we can talk about that. It looks interesting. Yeah, super resolution, it's a little ways out here, but it looks promising. I was hoping they'd show it off, but they didn't yet. But there's some new information that's come out about it, so it looks good. All right. Jamal says, bro, your intros are the best. Let's talk about it. Well, thank you. All right. By the way, if everyone who just joined in right now, if you do want me to for sure get to your question, and you also want to be added to the Discord, the best way to do that would be to go ahead and do a super chat and then get a hold of me afterwards, either via Twitter or my email, and then I will add you to the Discord. So that's a good way to do that. Typically, the only other way to get into the Discord would be to do through Patreon. That's another option if you'd rather do that. But so I'm opening it up to super chats as well because that allows more people to get into the Discord. All right, so we got some people in the Discord right now, by the way. Did you forget caps lock on? Muhammad says, always. All right. All right, Justin Vickar says, what happens in the Discord? So we just talk about some tech stuff. I've helped some other people choose video cards. They've helped me choose like my case. It's a way to get a hold of me as well as talk to a more what's the word? A more dedicated portion of the audience, I would say. So it's like a nice little spot to talk to people who are all really interested in the same stuff. So yeah, it's definitely good. Also, if you're part of the Discord or Patreon, I do from time to time throw in like these streams you'll get access to even after they go down. So if you want to go back in and look at it, so that's also something. I also sometimes post pictures as well. Like behind the scene pictures, either in Discord or on Patreon. So both you get access to that sort of content as well. So, all right, Justin Vickers, yeah, I'll throw down on Patreon when I remember. All right, awesome, sounds good. J. Steve says the missile silo, the RX 580 is a serviceable as hell GPU. Yeah, the RX 580 is still not bad. Obviously, it's starting to show its age, but all right. Guilty Potato says, hey. Well, hi there. Well, hello there. All right. Can Intel be trusted with benchmarks anymore? No. No, they can't. Absolutely not. I see them constantly posting stuff on Twitter. That guy, Ryan Shrout, who used to be part of PC Perspective. I've lost so much respect for PC Perspective. I know I don't want to throw shade at them now because he's left, but he's just left a bad taste in my mouth. And he's... The stuff that he releases for the benchmarks for Intel, it just stinks. You know, like you look at it, you're, oof, there's no way that can be right. And then it ends up, you look deeper into it and like, yeah, that's not right. Elad Samuelov says, do you think Intel is going to beat AMD in the long term? That's a good question. I really don't know. At this point, I find it hard to believe, but it really depends on what happens with TSMC's fabs and stuff. So that could play a big factor. Karamba says, did I miss some important stuff? I just joined. No, well, obviously you missed some important stuff, but I'm saying, no, you're not missing out too much here. We got a lot to talk about here still, so don't worry about it. We got a lot to go over here. JC says Intel won't beat AMD until they go 10 nanometer desktop. That's not going to cut it. 10 nanometer isn't going to be good enough. They need to go 7 nanometer or 5 nanometer. It's just at this point. So Justin K says the 3080 is getting discontinued, right? So yeah, I think that will actually occur. Yeah, I think the 3080 will get discontinued, whether it gets refreshed with some super cards or whether or not a 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti comes out. Either way, yeah, I see the 3080 being discontinued. It's basically a mining card, let's be honest. So if you got one, count yourself lucky, because those things are hard to find. Greg Sensata says, I just bought a 5800X. Should I have waited for Zen 4? It's a little ways out here yet. I mean, maybe by the end of this year. I'm thinking early next year, so we'll see. Cara Smith says, tips on getting a 3060 Ti Founders Edition. Yeah, that's kind of a hard one to get. I would say just look on Best Buy. That's basically the only way you can get it, and you just got to be real fast. Dane Endley says, everyone seems so confused on Intel struggles. To me, it's simple. They have the same technology to make 7 nanometer. AMD has their ambition shot for lower 5 nanometer and obviously have problems. Well, they can't even, I mean, 10 nanometer would be roughly like 7 nanometer equivalent. They can't even get that done. So yeah, getting to 7 nanometer, which would be roughly equivalent with TSMC's 5, or at least it should be, that's going to be a struggle as well. It seems like we're a little ways out here. I have people telling me that, 2022 or something, they're going to have some cool stuff. And I'm like, okay, nice. But in 2022, AMD's going to be on 5 nanometers. So Patreon link, can't seem to find your page. Yeah, sure. Let me get you a link to that. Actually, I think I have it right on my channel. So if you go over to my channel, it should be like on the banner. If you look at the banner, there should be a link there. If you're watching on your phone, it may not be there. So let me go ahead and get you a link to that. So, yep, It's it's right on my banner. So let me get a link to that. All right, so here is the Patreon link if you want to. Okay, yeah, he's on mobile. Yeah, then you won't see it. So, yeah, it's in the chat now. But in any case, how is the AMD GPU stock looking in Europe? I hear it's not good either. So, oh, jeez, my nose itches. Yeah, I've had people tell me it's pretty bad. So, not great, not great. Amazon equals scalper land as it ships worldwide. Will 3070 get into stock in April or maybe earlier? Well, I mean, they come into stock every week. They're just hard to get. Jeez, I got these cats. These cats, I got like all this hair going around. But in any case, so, oh wow, someone was able to spam still. Okay. Guess that 3-second delay didn't quite do it. But in any case, I think we should probably talk about Intel now. Probably a good natural time to start talking about it. And so if you haven't seen, you've been able to buy the 11700K here as well as the 11900K off of certain retailers. And some performance numbers came out. Someone just decided, I believe it was Anantech, just like published some performance numbers. And yeah, it's not good. In fact, it is horrible. It's far worse than I could have imagined. What we're looking at here is it looks like the 11700K is going to be an 8-core processor. The 11900K is going to be an 8-core processor. I think we've all kind of known that for a little while here. So yeah, not very impressive. So there's nothing that they have that can really compete with, say, AMD's 12-core, 16-core processor. That's not good. But to make matters worse, despite the fact that they backported a technology that was supposed to have an architecture that was supposed to have about 18%, I believe, IPC improvement over Skylake, despite the fact that they went ahead and backported that back to their 14-nanometer process to get the best clocks, they still didn't get much improvement. It looks like in like multitask type of stuff, they got some decent improvements. Or they're coming close to, say, the 5800X and such, but it looks like in gaming, what was published, the 11700K at least is still being beat by the 5800X. So their new generation of processors, and keep in mind that the 5800X was, I believe, only about 7% faster than, say, like the 10700K or 10900K. So yeah, they only had to make up for 7%, and it looks like they only gained like 1 or 2% in gaming, meaning meaning that this is the worst improvement I think I've ever seen from a processor ever. It's really shockingly bad. In fact, it's so bad that really Intel probably shouldn't have even released these processors. It's kind of embarrassing. Like, I don't understand what the point is in releasing processors that are 2% faster in gaming. That literally makes no sense. So basically, now Intel has nothing. They're not the fastest gaming processor. They don't have the fastest multi-threaded processors. They're super power hungry. Looks like the 11700K was drawing up to like 300 watts. So that's ridiculous. So this is kind of like Intel's FX 9590 moment, it looks like. It's just bad. Oh geez, I got an alarm going off. I gotta check this real quick. Holy crap. Well, there you go. I just yanked on my light. Oh my lord. All right, well, that was that's some behind the scenes stuff you got there. I was walking back and my cord on my light, I tripped on it. So yeah, I may have to adjust that after the stream. It looks fine still though. Jeez. I forgot I had an alarm set on my phone, which of course for whatever reason I didn't have next to me. So that's great. And then I go to turn it off, which, by the way, for whatever reason, like, I have the phone on silent, like it shouldn't be playing anything, right? And then I go to turn it off, and I come back and I trip over my light. Oh, my lord. Anyway, let's get back to trashing on Intel, basically, because why not? Hey, Tim Majulian, you just missed an epic tripping over a light moment, so that's great. So yeah, let's get back to trashing on Intel. Because realistically, yeah, so like I was saying, Intel no longer has the gaming lead. They can't compete with AMD on multi-core. And to make things worse, it draws a whole bunch of power, and it looks like they're going to be expensive too. So the only thing Intel has is that like you can buy them, whereas you can't really buy all of the AMD chips. But keep in mind, you can basically buy a 5800X whenever you want now. They're pretty much in stock all the time. The 5600X is coming in stock all the time as well. So yeah, there seems to be literally no point to buying an Intel processor at this point. They shouldn't have even released the 11th gen processors. They're going to be the laughing stock of the tech community because it's embarrassingly bad, the amount of performance gain they're able to get. 2%, come on, get out of here. So I don't get it. I don't know why they would even do that. Yeah, prices aren't going down. I don't think so. I think prices are going up. Realistically, look, if the 11700K is like a $250 processor, awesome. I'm on board. Let's all buy one. But realistically, it looks like it's probably going to be not much cheaper than 5800X. So why buy it? Like, even if it's $400, yeah, it's $50 cheaper than a 5800X, but then AMD's probably just going to release 5700X then at $400 or $380. So realistically, this it needs to be cheaper than that. And at $400, I mean, what's the point of buying it? It draws way more power than the 5800X and isn't as fast. So yeah, no thanks. Mr. Spaghetti says, hey, what's going on your Discord? Awesome. Yeah. So we're just talking about stuff. Right now I'm basically just shitting all over Intel for releasing possibly the worst generation of processors known to man. So, oh, man. So Dylan Hugen says, if I would build my PC now, should I buy a good RTX 3080 or wait for prices to go down? If you could buy a 3080 right now, buy it. That would be my, yeah. Game Solex says, so 2018 9900K is 2% slower, right? Slower than what? I mean, 9900K really wouldn't be much slower than a 11700K, though. I'll tell you that much. Maybe like 5% or 7%? I don't know. Nothing. All right, so Tim Julian says Ryzen, it's just has the lead right now, and AMD's the king in lower power consumption. Yeah, for sure. Intel's got a big hill to climb if they want to, fix the situation that they're in right now. And a lot of it stems from their management. It seems like they have some really horrible management, and a lot of that has gone out the door. They have a new CEO, so that's good. But the problems run deeper than that. So they have a lot of problems to fix if they want to get back on track. We'll see what happens. At this point, after seeing like 5-6 generations in a row of Intel doing nothing, I just don't have any faith in them anymore. This is Intel's FX moment. I just don't believe that they're ever going to be as aggressive or as good as they were. We'll see. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I've lost all faith. And that's not a good thing because we need Intel to be hyper competitive to make sure AMD stops increasing their prices, because 5800X is too expensive. It realistically should not have been more than $400. So that's not great. Emil says, why does Intel stock cooler suck so bad compared to AMD's? Because they don't want to spend any money. GT 730 Ti going to destroy the RTX 3090? Absolutely. Gizmo says, could I get a very quick recap on 3080 Ti leak? Just joined, like 10-second recap. Yeah, so basically, Red Gaming Tech essentially just reconfirmed everything that was already talked about in the past and that I've been talking about. So yeah, it looks powerful. In fact, it'll probably beat the 3090 if you haven't flashed the 3090's BIOS. Which is kind of funny. All right, let's see. So in Croatia, you can only buy 3070. All their cards are sold to miners. Yeah, 3070, you can still buy those. It's possible to buy them. No Discord link in Patreon, Justin Vicar says. Well, basically the way that works, I was going to get it automated. I'm still working on this. When you sign up to Patreon, it was going to automatically give you a link to the Discord. I still haven't got that set up. I'm going to get to that. So for right now, once that happens, basically just get a hold of me, and then I will either on Patreon or email or Twitter, whatever, and then I'll send you a link to the Discord. And of course, if you do a super chat as well, that's another way to get added to the Discord. So if you send a super chat during the live stream, get a hold of me afterwards, Twitter, email, whatever, and then I'll get you to the Discord as well. So, and in the Discord and Patreon, there's some kind of like behind the scenes stuff and all that. So, all right, we got $5 Canadian from Mr. Spaghetti. Thank you. Again, get a hold of me if you want to get added to the Discord afterwards, though I think you are in it already. So he says, do you know if AMD Smart Access Memory is working with a new Nvidia card? It should be. So basically with the RTX 3060, what they're calling Smart Access Memory is it's just called the resizable bar, and that's actually enabled on the 3060 right now, which is pretty cool. I think you have to have specific like setups right now, though. I'm not sure which processors it works with. I don't know if you have to enable it in the BIOS either. I should probably check that. But yeah, it's working with the 3060. Pretty soon you'll be able to flash all your other cards to actually enable it as well. And in some cases you can get up to like 10% more performance. So that's awesome. So that, yeah, that's good. But again, thank you for the $5 there. And let's see if we have any more questions. Let's see. Vanter Mihai says $2,000 pre-built with 3070 i9 10850K and Z490 motherboard. Do you think this is worth it? Yeah, I think that's worth it. For me personally, at least. Obviously, it's not gonna have the best motherboard or RAM typically, but yeah, it gets the job done. Let's see. Could have more performance if you. Let's see. Please explain this. I saw an Asus website today. Asus TUF RTX 3080 for over $1,000. Why? It was $899 before 2 weeks. Yeah, well, the Asus TUF was supposed to be like $750, but yeah, prices. It looks like people are just starting to dip their. They just want some of that pie. You know, they're like, look, if people are selling them for $2,000 on eBay, why can't I have some? All right, we got another super chat from Yaesung. Thank you for the $2. If you do want to be added to the Discord or the page, if you want to be added to the Discord, get a hold of me either via Twitter or on my email, and then I'll go ahead and do that. All right, let's see. Thoughts on 3050 Ti with 4 gigabytes in 2021? You know, it's a bit strange. I talked about the 3050 Ti the other day. It looks like it was a laptop leaked one. I wonder if we're going to get a GA106 version of that for a desktop, or if it'll be that same GA107. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But 4 gigabytes in 2021, yikes. Yeah, I'd be looking for 8. Guilty Potato says, when will the Chinese holiday end? I think it's already over. Like, it should be over at this point. So you should be seeing an increase in stock levels pretty soon here. I talked about this in another video, but I mean, how much that's going to help, I don't know. But there should be more supply of basically everything coming. So, yeah. Thoughts on Ryzen 7 2700X in 2021? It should still be pretty good, especially if you're playing at a higher resolution. Let's see. Newegg's pre-built seem okay-ish. Yeah, it depends on which one you go for, but I've seen some decent ones. Let's see. Do you think pre-builts are finally worth looking into right now? Yeah. I've talked about this in the past. In fact, I've had some affiliate links to those too. And in fact, I may put another post up on like Tuesday or something. Where I give you some options that I see, because from time to time I've seen some pretty decent deals. Of course, it's always gonna be a little more expensive than you want. You might not get the exact components that you want, but you're gonna get the card that you want. So not the exact card, but you'll get like a 3080. All right, so we got $5 super chat from DJ Foti. Thank you so much. He says, my old system is an i7-11700K GTX 980, 32 gigabytes RAM, and 2 terabyte SSD storage. I was going to give it to my sister for her to game on. Graphics card upgrade? No, I wouldn't worry too much about that. GTX 980 should be pretty good still. It depends on what monitor she's running, and it also depends on, say, how much she's going to be playing games. I mean, if she's not going to be playing games a lot, I wouldn't worry about it. But if she's going to be like playing a lot of games, she wants to play like 1440p, 144 Hz, yeah, obviously at that point, unless you want to drop all your settings to low, you're probably going to be wanting to look at a graphics card upgrade. But realistically, that should be fine. If it's starting to feel old, I would just overclock it, because the 900 series, again, if you're comfortable with overclocking, now I guess I got to always throw this out there as a disclaimer. Overclocking can void your warranty and could damage your card, etc., etc. Yeah, possible. I've never ever damaged a card. It might just reduce the lifespan, probably. But yeah, the 900 series does overclock really well, so that might be a better way to extend its life rather than replacing it. I remember one 980 Ti I was actually able to get like nearly 20% more performance out of, so yeah, it can be really good. And we got Ryzen in the Discord with the crying, laughing emoji. Okay, so in any case, but yeah, thank you, DJ Foti, for the $5. And if you want to get added to the Discord, again, get a hold of me either on Twitter or my email after the live stream is done, and I'll get you that email or that link to the Discord. And then we got Ye Sung with $2. Thank you once again for the $2. He says Micro Center got 70% of 3070s on launch day. I don't know about the allocation of that, but I do know that Micro Center is a pretty decent spot to check. If you're looking for something where you want to maybe actually get a chance of getting something, like if you get up early in the morning when you know they're going to have a drop, that might be your best option, because very few dedicated scalpers are going to be doing that. Ryzen says, how are you doing graphically challenged in the Discord with all messed up caps lock? Typical fashion that I tend to do. Pretty good. How are you doing, Ryzen? Brian C says, I want to join the Discord channel. All right, well, the best way to do that would be either to support on Patreon or to do super chat. So, and then of course get a hold of me afterwards, and I'll get you a link. So yeah, I decided to open up to super chats to make it easier for people. So if you just want to do one super chat, that gets you access to the Discord. All right, KP says, do you think the crypto limiter will be expanded to other cryptocurrencies? Other thoughts? I'm very disappointed in it right now. Yeah, so there's a lot of people who are very mixed on their feelings of the crypto thing. And for me, I think the crypto lock's a good idea. I know some people don't like it because they like to mine on their cards. Personally, I don't, and I don't care about mining simply because I'd have to have a lot of cards to make it worth it. But realistically, I just don't care that much about mining, and so if they do end up blocking it completely, I don't care. Some people might. So I think it's a good idea, personally, and I think if they blocked everything and just didn't sell anything to miners and it was really hard to crack, it would be a good idea, and they could do that. But right now in its current form, it looks like it only blocks Ethereum, so that kind of just seems like, you know, putting up a door and locking the door but not having a wall. They're just going to walk around the door. So I don't know how effective that is. And then to go around and sell, you know, cryptocurrency processors with no display outs just seems like a mistake. That I just put displays on them, Nvidia. God. Okay, so and then we got some in the Discord. Ryzen says, I'm doing just fine. I hope Best Buy does a GPU restock next week so I can have a chance to buy a video card next week, either Tuesday or Friday. One of those days in the week are when Best Buy does restocks. Yeah, I'll be checking too to see what they got. Maybe sending some links to the Discord if I see something in stock. But yeah, let's see. When can we buy an RTX 3060 Ti? Check for restocks. They're hard to get. Those ones are specifically hard to get. Let's see. Victor says, I think the limiter was a pointless idea because the 3060 ran out of stock quick. Yeah, I don't think it really ended up helping. It did. It really didn't. It was an exciting idea. It had promise, and they just kind of bungled it, in my opinion. So I don't think it's really had much of an effect. Fahadu says, is it okay if I play games and it takes 9,750 gigabytes? Woo! of my 3080's VRAM. Well, if it's 9,000 gigabytes, I think you got some sort of problem going on there. But I think you're talking about megabytes. So if you're basically almost maxing out your RAM, you're probably fine, because it may be asking for that much, but it may not actually be using that much. So I wouldn't worry too much. Vilo in the Discord says, about to buy ROG Strix 3090 OC. Is it any good? Are you seriously about to buy that? Send me a link where I can buy one. If it's MSRP. Because I'll buy that. It's expensive. It's stupid expensive. No, I shouldn't buy a Strix. But if you are going to buy a 3090 Strix, yeah, it's pretty good 3090. I'd say it's maybe one of the best from what I can tell. It's like a $450 or not, did I just say $450? 450 watt, or is it 500 watt? I think it's like 450 or 500 watt card, and it's got a really good cooler. Like, it's almost as good as 3090 Founders Edition cooler. So as 3090s come, yeah, it's pretty good. I wish our only options didn't boil down to having to spend a ridiculous amount on a video card, but it seems like the only cards you can get right now are like a 3090 or 3070. Anything else is really hard to get. Violet says, definitely not MSRP, but it's not eBay either. Well, how much is it? I mean, it depends on how much it is whether or not it's worth it. I mean, realistically, 3090 is not worth it at all, but I mean, right now, if it's kind of get what you can get, I guess. Let's see. Malakas says 750 watt is enough for 3080 and 5600X. It should be, but like, depending on your card, if it says you should be using 850 watt, just stick to what they tell you. Just look at your card, look at what it tells you to use, and go with that. A lot of times it's overkill, but you know, like, yes, could you probably get by on like 300 watts? Yeah, you could probably run your computer on like 300 watts. Would I recommend it? Absolutely not. So that's why I just say, to make things simple, just go with what they recommend and use that. So if they recommend 750 watts for your card, you're probably fine. All right, Ryun Zensky with the $2, thank you so much. He says, who would win in a fist fight with you versus Jensen? I don't know. I'm a lot younger than Jensen. He should be scared, but I don't know. He might be some like fighting master, and we don't know. So that's a good question. But we should say, let's do it. Let's do a boxing match. Let's set up one of those YouTuber boxing matches or whatever that people do. Me versus Jensen. But all right, we got another super chat from Brian C. Thank you so much for the $5. I really enjoy your content, and intros are funny and refreshing to see. Well, thank you so much for the $5. And for both of you, if you want to get added to the Discord, get a hold of me after the live stream is done, either via Twitter or via my email, and I will get you a link to the Discord. I usually get back really quickly, so because I have my phone on me and I can just quickly send it, so that's a good way of doing it. All right, we got another $5 super chat from Quinn Greaves. Thank you so much. He says, which would have better resale at end of life, 3080 or 3080 Ti, or 3080 mining capable or 3080 Ti locked, or relatively the same? I think they'd be relatively the same, because, you know, I assume by then that mining will probably drop off somewhat. I could be wrong, but I think it will. So if you're looking at resale value, I don't think people are going to be like buying them secondhand for mining, really. I think it's be gamers buying them, so I don't think that will really impact things. But who knows? It could end up impacting a little bit. All right, and then we got another super chat from Ryan Ski, $2 once again. Okay, who would win in a fist fight, you versus Lisa Sue? Well, if Lisa Sue is wearing her heels, she won't stand a chance because she's not going to be able to move fast enough. So but, you know, she takes those heels off and all bets are off. We don't we don't know. We could do a tag team. So it could be me and Lisa Sue versus, I got it. Me and Lisa Sue versus Ryan Shrout and Jensen. Let's get it started. Let's get that pay-per-view going. And then we got another $2 Canadian super chat from Mr. Spaghetti. Thank you so much. Jensen is low-key thick. Oh, man. All right, and then let's see. Vilo in the Discord says it's offered $2,800, but I'm negotiating down to $2,500. About an amount I can get rid of it without hating myself if it doesn't work out. I wouldn't be going like that high. That's too high for a 39. I mean, that's what they're basically going for on eBay is it looks like between $2,700 to $3,000 for 3090 on eBay right now, but it's real. I mean, if you've got money to throw away, do what you want, but realistically my advice would be, spending well over $2,000 for the 3090 is just not, it's not going to be worth it. Really, the max you should probably be spending for 3090 is around $2,000, and even that's ridiculous. I mean, $1,500 is ridiculous, but in the current state of things, I'd be trying not to spend over $2,200 if you can help it. But again, it's your money, do what you want. If you don't care, you don't care. Cynic says, dude, $3,000 is a car. Yeah, you're not wrong. And that's the thing. You start looking at it and you're like, okay, now I'm spending car money, or a down payment on a nice car to get a video card. And that's a lot of money. It really is. Let's see. Violet says, I missed out on a Founders Edition that was $1,900 because I ignored it. That's not, as secondhand prices come, that's not, horrible for a 3090. But again, the Founders Edition, you can get it, and you can get it for MSRP. You can get it for $1,500 if you're fast. I would just be trying to do that instead. Because that's a lot of extra money to be spending just for a middleman, basically. It seems like the Strix 3090 and Founders Edition 3090 you can get them. You can get them on Best Buy. It's just not easy. Max Active says, I just buy a PS5. Yeah, if you can get a PS5, that might be the way to go right now. I mean, if you're debating between spending, 2 times MSRP on a video card or PS5, I mean, really, if you're just playing games. Obviously, for me, that doesn't cut it. I do have a PS5 and it's awesome. I was able to play Demon Souls, but yeah, PC is my main platform. All right, Mipure says, do you think my setup is worth it? It costs around $800. NZXT H510, Intel i3-10 100GB B460M, Crucial RAM 16GB, EVGA GeForce RTX 3060 XE Black. It's only $800? I mean, yeah, that's a steal. That seems like way too low. That's crazy. Do you think power supply with 600 watts is enough for 6700 XT and Ryzen 5 3600? It probably will be. You'll have to wait and see what they have to recommend, but I don't see why not. Muhammad in the Discord says, Strix used to cost $1,900. Get the Founders Edition unless you're going to be overclocking to the max. Like I did with my 3070, I got 2205 megahertz. Yeah, the 3090 Founders Edition is pretty close to the Strix. It just gets a little power limited. But yeah, let's see. Which PC cases do you recommend? A 320mm plus GPU. There's a lot of cases that'll fit that. You can even go on places like PC Part Picker and kind of sort it, and it'll kind of do that for you. All right, Ravenwolf says, how hard is it to get a 6800 XT? Pretty hard unless you're willing to spend a lot of money. Yeah, Justin Vickard says, Corsair 5000D Airflow looks nice, and I agree. Yeah, that looks like a pretty nice one. KP says, I went to my local Best Buy, and they said that they had not had one video card for over a year. Yikes. Well, I don't think they're doing in-store stuff as much anymore. They get stuff sent to them and they'll bring it out to you, but they don't really sell it in store. So, Fabian Bilge said, "Oh man, I had just had one of my lights kind of crack. That was bizarre." Oh gosh, I forgot who was I going over that. I can't find you anymore. Anyway. Leon Lee 011 Dynamic Mini. I've heard good things about that case. What's that NZXT case that was like starting on fire? Use that one. Jeremy says, I have an EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra RTX 3080. If I could get a Strix RTX 3080, would it be worth it? Not really, because the EVGA for the Win 1, you can flash the BIOS to 450 watts, and the cooler may not be quite as good, but it's fairly close, so I don't think it's really worth it. Vilo says, can someone suggest stock drop bots? So the best options would, in my opinion, I've had good luck with both stock drops, which I'm sure you've heard of, as well as BroBot. And those will kind of like, you can have them send you push notifications with a link to something that just came back in stock, so you have a good chance of trying to buy it. So I would probably choose one of those two. Yeah, I've run ads for both BroBot and stock drops, and the reason why I did is because I used them both before I even like actually did any ads for them. So yeah, basically everything that I do an ad for, I at least use it a little bit before I do it, just to make sure it does what it says and everything. Yeah. Let's see. BroBot has been silent on the 3080 end. Yeah, because the 3080s are like basically impossible to get. I've found that when BroBot actually sends you something, it's almost guaranteed that it was in stock and it was possible to get, but that's barely happens with the 3080. And even BroBot, like, you get there right away if the 3080 comes, and it's oftentimes too late because there's just so little availability and there's so much people who want it. Yeah, the worst are the apps that send you notifications of the items that aren't actually in stock. Yeah, I've had that problem before. All right, when can we expect to pre-order the RX 6700 XT? I don't think they're doing pre-orders. I think you basically just gotta get in line. At this point, doing pre-orders would probably be a mistake. I mean, you could have people, gosh, you could have people sitting there in a line for like a year. It's just not a good idea. All right, should I keep my Aorus 5700 XT until the release of the 4000 series, or should I buy 3070 with pre-built? That's up to you. Honestly, if you feel like 5700 XT is doing you good, stick with that. If you feel like it's really limiting your ability to do something, then go ahead and buy the new pre-built. JC says only scalpers get to pre-order and they do it by the pallet. And miners, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong in that one. You know, Nvidia should really crack down on like where this stuff is going. Nvidia and AMD, they need to like just say, hey guys, if we send you this stuff, you have to actually sell it at retail. Like, you can't, we're not saying you have to sell it at a certain price, but you cannot sell these things before they're actually out. Let's see. I have an MSI B5. Pablo says I have an MSI B550 5800X MSI 240R and planning to get a 6700 XT or something with 850 gold will be good enough for this. 850 gold will definitely be good enough for something like that. How much trust hope do you put into AMD's DLSS alternative? I don't think it'll be as good as Nvidia's, but I think it'll be interesting. All right, overclock 3080 or 3080 Ti Founders Edition. Overclock 3080 would be, it would be so close that it wouldn't really matter realistically, other than the 2 gigs of RAM. So if you can actually get it for a decent price, yeah, I'd do that. Yeah, JC says it would have to be software versus hardware upscaling. Native hardware solution like DLSS is always going to be better. Yep. DLSS, it almost certainly will be better. All right, Guilty Potato says Nvidia RTX 3080 Ti, Nvidia 3080 Ti. yeah, I do really want the 3080 Ti. Like, once that thing comes out, I'm gonna be buying one of the best models you can get and flipping my 3090. Just getting rid of it. It's too expensive. It's ridiculous. The 3090 is like I don't need 24 gigabytes of VRAM. It's ridiculous. 12 is more than enough for me. What's the best GPU I can get with a Ryzen 2600? There's no limit. You could get a 3090 if you wanted. It just depends on the resolution you're playing at. You playing at 4K, go for the 3090 if you want. There really isn't much of it, you know. It doesn't matter too much. It just depends. Like if you're playing at 1080p 240 hertz though, then yeah, you're gonna be. There's no point buying above maybe a 3070, 3060 Ti. So yeah. All right, let's see. Hey, you should sell me your 3090. Hey, Victor, aren't you the same one who's saying you're mining? I'm not selling you anything. All right, let's see. Empure says, my PC does have one issue. That's the power supply. I bought it during power supply shortage. It was 100 instead of 60 like was last year. Do you think an RTX 3060 will handle it? I'm not entirely... You didn't tell me really... you didn't really tell me what, like, power it was. Amocat says, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Hope it collapses and they lose it all. Well, I don't... Like, the idea of Bitcoin for me, it's a good idea in theory, but its execution has been messy, to say the least. Like, it's incredibly power inefficient to have all these cards 24/7 mining all the time. And then to make matters worse, it's also just like the price goes all over the place and it's really disruptive to other markets. So, and then you have, it's supposed to be a decentralized thing, right? That was the idea. But then you have like 60% of the, what was it, 65% of the mining, I think, or something. Don't quote me on this, I could be wrong. But I heard somewhere like 65% of the mining happens in China. So how decentralized is it really if most of it is happening in China? It doesn't, you know, I don't know. I don't see Bitcoin becoming like the main currency. Of course, don't be buying or selling Bitcoin based on what I tell you. I am definitely no expert on it, but just for me, there's a lot of problems with it, the way it's working right now and the way it's not working right now. So I just, yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot of problems with the whole scenario. And it seems like, to me, it's more of people see how some people got rich off of Bitcoin originally, and they want so badly to put like $1,000 down or something and become rich, that they just want so badly to believe that it's going to hit this insanely high price, or that a new coin's going to come along and, you know, suddenly shoot way up and they're going to become a millionaire. Everyone wants to become a millionaire. So they want these coins to explode. And I just don't know if that's really going to be the case. We'll see. And, you know, the whole like really hardcore crypto currency people, I don't know, there's a lot of shady stuff that goes around in that arena of the internet. There's a lot of like crime that gets paid for with cryptocurrency. It's shady. There's a lot of scamming that happens. Every time I make a video that has like mining in the title, there's a bunch of bots all over trying to promote some scam website with cryptocurrency. It's a really shady thing. And I just don't, yeah. I don't know. I think the idea of cryptocurrency, like blockchain's a good idea. It's just, there needs to be, I don't know if a government needs to make a currency or what happens, but again, if the government controls it, then that kind of gets rid of the whole decentralization. I don't know. It's a hard, I don't know what the solution is, but yes, there needs to be something else other than the way Bitcoin is being run right now. I don't see Bitcoin becoming the main currency. It's all over the place. There's a lot of crime and shady stuff going on. It's super inefficient. It's not decentralized really. So yeah, I just don't. No, I'm not all in on Bitcoin. I don't care. And if you want to get rich off of Bitcoin, you're probably too late. It's at this point, I don't know. Is it going to hit $1 million all of a sudden? Maybe. Or maybe it'll just kind of fluctuate somewhere between $30,000 to $100,000. It's not going to go from, you know, $1 to $50,000. I don't see that type of extreme rise ever happening again. So the people who want to get rich off of Bitcoin, unless you own thousands of GPUs in your mining, I just don't really see it happening again. You might be able to make some money off of it, but getting rich, probably not. All right. It'll crash again, most likely, but then pump again. Geo says, yeah, probably. It'll probably have its little crashes, and it does what it does, whatever. All right, stocks do that all the time. Big news, technology spike like that. Look at Netflix stock. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's a lot more extreme with these digital currencies. It's like really extreme. It's wild. It happens a lot. All right. 1080 better than 1070 Ti? Well, yeah. Yeah, it's a little better. All right, my GPU is old. It's Radeon 5770 HD. I'm about to spend $2,000 on my PC. Go for it. Awesome. What about a major crash like 2018, though? Crispy says, I don't know. I don't see that happening again. It seems like there's a lot of people who do have faith in it. I don't know if it'll ever crash to the degree it used to. Guilty Potato says, I still don't believe anyone got rich from it. No, I know people who did. I do know people who got rich off of Bitcoin because they literally bought it when it was worth nothing and it exploded. And they like forgot about it and went back and went, oh, now it's worth like $18,000 or whatever, and sold a bunch and became pretty much rich off of it. But at this point, the chances of that ever happening again, yeah, you're probably too late. And so everyone really desperately wants these other coins like Ethereum or Dogecoin or all the other coins to, you know, shoot way up so they can become the next millionaire. But is it going to really happen? Probably not. You know, it's, yeah. I'm done with the whole crypto thing. It's, at this point, I'm over it. I don't care. If you want to mine in your free time with your card, you go ahead. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I don't care about it. So okay, let's see. In your opinion, will RX 6700 XT be better than 3060 Ti and 3070? Probably better than 3060 Ti, but 3070, it might. It might. We'll see. Probably a little slower. Nick says, how is blockchain even a good idea? Blockchain tech is the most inefficient system to ever be created. Someday the governments will have to ban it due to power waste. Well, yeah, it depends on how it's done, but like in its current form, it looks like GPU mining is incredibly inefficient, and there are places in the world that are literally banning it right now. I made a video where a section in China actually is banning it because it's driven up their like electricity by a huge amount. And by huge amount, I think I mean like 2% or something, which that's a lot. Like, that's insane. So just from like cryptocurrency mining, that's wild. So yeah. Visilvold says, if Ethereum goes proof of stake, it will solve GPU shortage. No, probably won't. Because then you have other coins like Ravencoin, and people will mine other coins and then, you know, exchange it for Bitcoin and then pull out that for US dollars. So it may not be quite as good. They might not get as much return. But yeah, it's... Guilty Potato says miners fuel scalpers. Yes, they do. Because miners, if... Like, a miner could buy a card for $10,000 if they knew they could make that money back quickly. A gamer's not going to do that. So it encourages scalping. But yeah, that's a problem. Why is getting PTSD from all this? Okay, you guys mining it. My bro's making $5 a day. MSI Tomahawk X570, AMD 5800X, 32 gigabytes, wait for 6700 XT or 3075 edition. Get whatever you can get, buddy. That's what I'm saying. It's been like a year. How are there still no cards to buy? Yeah, wait a minute. Hasn't it been like 6 months or something? Like, this is wild. This is outrageous. This is unfair. How can Nvidia release these cards and not sell them to gamers? Yeah, that moment when you're sitting there and you're trying to buy a video card and you see the other one and it ends up going out of stock because you saw the one that you actually wanted to get and you didn't buy the one that you could have bought. The reaction to that would be, well, you know, master, I couldn't find the card that I liked. Thank you, Kawa, for the 549 euros. That's awesome. If you want to get added to the Discord, get a hold of me via Twitter or on my email after this is done, and I'll get you in that Discord. Looks like in the Discord, Vilo is now going to be trying to use Brobot instead of buying scalpers. Awesome. Scalpers have the high ground. Euro dollars. Yeah, we got those eddies. All right. Is there going to be a 3090 Ti? No, there's no room for it. There's not enough room on the die. It wouldn't make sense. Midnight Dragon says hello. Our Guilty Potato says mining caused 10 years worth of e-waste in 2 years. I'd have to look into that. I don't know. It certainly seems incredibly wasteful, though. G Stays says, crazy, we are already 6 months into the 30 series. That's over 1/4 generation, and we still can't get cards. Yeah, it's gotten out of control. Do you like Star Wars? If yes, what's your favorite movie? Yes, I do, and I think my favorite one would be Episode 5. Gosh, why can't I remember the name? Isn't it The Empire Strikes Back? Yeah. I think that's kind of my favorite one. Does Robot work for UK? Unfortunately, I don't think it does. I think it's US only right now. When's TSMC getting more fab capacity? Actually, I have a video coming out on that soon. There's some really good news in that arena. So yeah, if you happen to be watching and you're not subscribed for whatever reason, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, hit the bell icon as well, because you're not going to want to miss some of the content that's coming out this week. I got some really, really good stuff. So yeah, there's some actual good news that's been coming out here, and that's awesome. All right. Hello, when will we be able to buy Nvidia CMP HX dedicated GPU for professional mining? No idea. No idea. I assume it's available now, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's not out yet. What's your honest opinion on Intel's GPU and the 12th-gen chips? I think Intel's GPU has promise. Like, it could actually be decent. Oh, Justin Vickard says there's other bot channels on Telegram for UK. So yeah, Brobot has a Telegram as well, so I think they do. You could check that. All right, so Sean Ward says, based off the leaks for the 11700K, do you think there is a point to buy 11th gen or just wait for Alder Lake? No, do not buy these 11th gen processors. They're embarrassingly bad. The only reason why I would ever say buy an 11th gen processor if they are super cheap. And we're talking about these processors drawing like 300 plus watts. They're like slower than the 5800X in gaming still. They're slower in multi-core performance. They're going to be expensive. So yeah, this ridiculous. I mean, no, it's silly. It's the most embarrassing, ridiculous launch I've ever seen from Intel, and they've had a lot of embarrassing and ridiculous launches. So, Intel, you should be ashamed of yourself. If Intel was a person, they should be crying right now. TRC4 says you have the best intro on YouTube. Well, thank you. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Guilty Potato says, yeah, if you think about it, you're running a GPU 24/7 for 365 days. Eventually, you'll damage the components and reduce the performance of the GPU. You'll certainly need to repace that GPU. Like, if you're buying cards on eBay right now, by the way, like, especially in the future, like a year from now, if you're buying 30 series cards, I would certainly be wanting to put new thermal paste on them and, you know, blow out any dust that may be in there. Because if you don't repaste some of those GPUs, I mean, if you're power cycling them a bunch and running them all the time, and yeah, it could end up causing that thermal paste to, it might need to be replaced. So, and all right, Midnight Dragon says Nvidia should be ashamed of themselves too for releasing their GPUs without preparing the scalpers. Yeah, well, I think at the time there wasn't much they could do, but I also think they could be doing better now. All right, so Panos Tenko says, will the new CEO fix things for Intel? I think it could help a lot, but there's a lot of problems with Intel management, even below the CEO. So we'll see what happens. All right, so Christoph says maybe the BIOS update for 11th gen will help, but yeah, even if the 11900K would be a few percent faster than 5800X, it's not worth it. Yeah, you're right, and I don't see that happening. I don't think they're going to be able to beat Ryzen 5000, which is ridiculous. I mean, I've never seen something this obnoxious. Like, oh, Intel, get your crap together. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is going on over there? Oh my God. Oh, we got someone trolling in the chat yet. Put user in timeout for spam. Okay. 3080 or 3070 Ti for $2,500 PC. Well, you can maybe buy a 3080 now. 3070 Ti is not yet confirmed, so we'll see what happens on that front. But in any case, I think we're going to wrap this video up in about 15 minutes. So if you want any last questions in, get them in now. Of course, tomorrow I'll be putting out another really great video. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. If you are subscribed and you haven't hit that bell icon yet, make sure to hit the bell icon. And, you know, if you see a video come up, make sure you click on it and just try and watch throughout the whole thing. You know, I mean, even if you may not particularly be 100% interested in the topic, which I think typically people are. I do get very good engagement, but you know, with all small creators right now, if you see a small creator put out a piece of content, give it a shot. Go ahead and watch it, even if you typically wouldn't, because it just helps. And, you know, I think with my videos, even if, like, let's say, I know people aren't quite as interested in AMD stuff on my channel because they're hard to buy, but there's some really good information on AMD stuff. So if you see one of those videos come out, make sure to click on it, give it a watch. I think you'll like it anyway. There's a lot of good information. So yeah, with all small creators right now, best way to help them would just be, you know, watch their videos, comment in the comment section below, like the video, share it with friends, that sort of stuff. So yeah. Just like every video any small creator comes out, just try and support it as much as you can, because it's hard for small creators on YouTube. I'm doing very well as a small creator right now, but there's a lot of people on YouTube who are not. And so I am a small creator though, so with all small creators, including me, just help out as much as you can if you do want to see small creators succeed by, again, watching the video, liking it, commenting, sharing, that sort of stuff. Just any engagement you can do. It just helps all small creators. All right, so Mr. Briefo, sort of, but I'm not going to do it. I won't harm your ears. All right. Emperor says, for my question earlier, do you think an RTX 3060 will be able to handle a new 550 watt bronze? Probably. Just check your particular model and see what they recommend. I'm sure it would work, but again, my advice, if you don't want to have any problems, would be just check to see what the card recommends. Ja 2016 says, can you do the intro? Sure, let's do that. There you go. All right. So is that true? 3080 Ti coming out in April? I'm pretty sure it is. I think we're gonna get it. Juzu says, I like your brand and keep it up. Swing as fast as possible and never change that shirt. I am not joking. Yeah. Yep. All right. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, thank you, Juzo. Game Solek says, I remember Intel Roadmap when looked at in 2014. I remember seeing them play. I don't remember seeing them planning on staying on 14 nanometer for 6 years. Yeah, we're looking at like 7 years close to here now. Yeah. Oh gosh, Intel's roadmap. It's just every year, like, and one more year, and one more year, and one more year. Okay, this time, nope. Okay, it's just the most ridiculous. That company's so ridiculous at this point. This is why I'm a little concerned about the graphics. I want them to be good, but We'll see. Intel Xe for the win. I mean, they don't even have to make good graphics. They don't even have to be good. They just need to be available. So let's see what we got here. Tycon says, I think my 5600X runs a little too high. Voltage spikes 1.438 volts with 1.33x voltage. Constant use, is that too high? According to AMD, from what I recall, I think these chips can actually spike up to like nearly 1.5 volts in a lightly threaded load. That should be fine. Of course, if you're not comfortable with it, I mean, if you're overclocking and it's that might be too high. But if you haven't overclocked your chip at all, and this is its stock operation, that in theory should be it should be fine in theory at stock operation to punch up to nearly 1.5 volts. So that really shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, and heavier loads, it'll probably be closer to 1.3 volts. That's just the way Ryzen works. Guilty Potato says, will the 3080 Ti be an anti-mining card? Yes, but will it work? Probably not. If they block everything off, which is possible, they could do that, then it may actually work. We'll see what happens. Dr. Foti says, what's your opinion on air cooling versus water cooling? I much prefer water cooling because it allows me to exhaust the air where I want, and it allows me to get better access. Like if you take a look at the CPU, the water block's pretty small, so you can take your sticks of RAM in and out. You can put a cooler over your RAM, no problems with that. There's no, I think it looks better aesthetically. Obviously, they're not going to last as long. That's the one downside, and there's a possibility of leaks. I've owned so many water coolers. I've never had a leak. I think most of those issues have been resolved. Like maybe early water coolers were having some of those issues, but I just don't really hear of it unless it was like damaged in shipping. So yeah, like for example, you can not only get better access to your RAM though, but you can like exhaust the air right at the top of your case, right out. Like you don't have to have it like move from here to the fan, then out. You can literally exhaust it right out of the case. So I kind of like that too. And you can get like some really big water coolers. Like you can get like what I'm using, the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2420, and I have that exhausting at the top. So yeah. Tycon says, I'm doing PBO with undervolt. I think the voltage is lower now on average than stock, but I saw a lot of people running higher frequencies with lower voltage, but thank you very much for your reply. Yeah, you can even run PBO stock like PBO stock voltage. Yes, PBO voids your warranty and could degrade your CPU or whatever, but like, and it probably will. Like realistically, it may shave a year or something off your chip. Like overclocking does that. It reduces the lifespan. But realistically, you're probably not going to have that chip anymore by the time you would notice that. So if you want to undervolt, yeah, it may actually help the lifespan of the CPU. That's certainly possible. But PBO, I've never seen PBO cause problems with a chip unless you have a bad chip. So like if your CPU dies in a year because you're running PBO, you probably had a bad chip. It probably wasn't PBO that did that. But I run PBO on all my Ryzen processors, and I just leave the voltage at stock. I just don't do all core overclock anymore. It's just not worth it for me anymore. I get so much performance out of the 5900X that I don't need to squeeze more out of it. So PBO does the job for me. JC says, I love Arctic coolers. Yeah, they're awesome. Tycon says, yeah, I was thinking about degrading the chip in time since stock voltage was same or even higher. I think I'm okay now. Yeah, you shouldn't. I wouldn't worry too much about degrading it, honestly. It's the only time you should be worrying about degrading these Ryzen processors to a significant degree is if you're running like really high voltages on all core loads. Like if you do a manual overclock, all core overclock with a really high voltage, that could degrade your CPU. But even then, it depends on from chip to chip. Nobody knows for sure how high of a voltage you can really punch. I know some people are very conservative about how much voltage they put in there. Some people punch a bunch of voltage in there and claim to have no problems. I'm not going to tell you whether or not that's good. If you want to learn more about Ryzen degrading and stuff, I would recommend going to Buildzoid's channel. I'm not going to tell you what voltages to punch into your chip. I don't do it anymore. I'm not going to tell you how to overclock your chip. So just if you are overclocking and you're doing all core overclocking, keep in mind degrading is possible. So that's all I'll tell you on that. I'm not going to give you any recommendations. JST says, if they were really worried about being screwed from chips being fried from PBO, they wouldn't promote it on their product page. I agree. PBO really shouldn't. If it causes problems for you, again, you probably got a bad chip. DJ Fody says, do a video on your gaming and editing setup. I may actually put that on, say, like the Discord or the Patreon, but that's something that wouldn't get like great views on YouTube. So that's why I couldn't post it on YouTube. But yeah, another good reason to support on Patreon or to do something on, or to do a super chat so you can get access to Discord, because that would give you access to that sort of behind the scene content, which I will be ramping up some more behind the scene content for the Discord and Patreon. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up in about 3 to 5 minutes. So get your last questions in now, and then I will wrap this video up, this stream. Dave Person says, I have a Gigabyte OC card that's running hot VRAM. Will replacing the thermal pads void my warranty? That's a good question. I think it shouldn't, but they might fight you on that. Like, they might try and say that it will, but realistically, you have the right to repair if you're in the US, so it shouldn't. And if you're worried about it, then, and you're comfortable taking your card apart, go for it. Just be careful when you take it apart. Don't, like, crack the die or anything like that. Is stock getting better? Yes, it will be getting better. I am so confident on that. We just got through the Chinese New Year. We got, you know, Nvidia signed a deal for more Samsung stuff a while ago. We got people are going to be going back to work. There's just a lot of stuff pointing to stock should be. It may not be getting like more stock, but your ability to buy it. More stock in the short term, but long term, probably not a whole lot more, but your ability to buy it should be greater. Mark says, could you build my PC? No. I could not have you ship a PC, build it, and then ship it back to you. That'd be so expensive. The shipping would be outrageous. All right. Tyken says, thanks so much for the replies, man. Love your videos. I will consider supporting you on Patreon sometime if you keep up the perfect intros, of course. Well, thank you for watching. And yeah, that would be awesome. If you want to support, go for it. Yeah, JSTs, I really hope they continue making Founders Edition cards as well. Thank you, Guilty Potato. He says, awesome videos, man. Mr. Brief says, what if I put a PC inside of a fridge with no fan? Well, the problem with that is that the heat output from the PC would be more than the fridge would be able to handle, and you would actually end up, the PC would get hotter because it's enclosed in that spot, because the fridge wouldn't be able to handle cooling it. And if you put it in the freezer, you could actually have, even if it was able to handle it, you could have condensation, which could damage your parts. So that's why people don't do that. All right, let's see. Probably answer 1 or 2 more questions here, and then we'll wrap this video up. Okay, so we got, what did you do before YouTube? I did a lot of things. a lot of dirty work. So I much prefer this, I'll tell you that much. You can do it from home, especially right now. Working from home is ideal. It's nice. If you can find a way to work from home, that's just good. Some people really prefer the in-person stuff, though. I prefer doing things from a screen, though. That's just me. And by the way, when I said dirty work, I didn't mean like It's not like things that you shouldn't be doing, like hands-on physical labor and stuff. That's what I mean. I guess he was a circus artist. Oh my lord. Do you look at the Discord? Yes, I do. All right, but I think with that, I'm probably going to wrap this video up. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Of course, I tend to do live streams it's not always every week. I try and do it every week, but sometimes I skip a week. So if I don't do one next week, it'll be the week after. But typically I try and do them every week on either Saturday or Sunday, around the afternoon. So yeah, if you want to tune in for live streams, that's around when I do it, try and do it every week in the afternoon. But again, anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which of course will be going up tomorrow. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.